Hi everybody, I'm going to take you through how I did my chi-square test. So I made a research question based on what I use in class. Do students who watch content video before a class meeting perform better on a quiz than students who do not watch the video? So that basically came down to they watch a video or do they not watch a video? And then I ranked their performance basically on unsatisfactory, satisfactory, or exceptional. And since, of course, we're making up this test just to test the statistics, that meant my null hypothesis was that students who watch a video perform the same. In other words, they're not better. They perform the same as those who watch content video. And the research hypothesis would be that they do not perform the same, whether that's better or worse. So then I just used the sample that he had given us to basically substitute in the ideas of, we sampled 80 students, so I just made up that number. You can pick however many you want. Of those who watched the video, quiz scores were evaluated to determine those who did not watch content video, etc. So the number of students who had not watched content video, I went ahead and just made 40 so we could have even numbers, was compared to the number who had. The data was analyzed using the chi-square goodness of fit test, returning a p-value of 0.011. Now let's look at how we actually did that. So I just made up these numbers. Those who watched the video didn't, or those who watched the video and didn't were the same. So they both had to total up to 40. What I prefer is to actually do this in Excel because it's just easier to use than SPSS for typing in numbers because in this case I needed to come up with a list. So you see for watched video, let's go ahead and make our variables in SPSS and then I'll generate those in Excel. So in SPSS I need to come in, do a new variable view, click on that, and I'm going to call this watched video. It's going to be numeric. Width of 8 is fine. Should be 0 decimals, which is what we've done in class. And 0. Label, I'm just going to call this watched vid. And we'll make the variables, the values. For 1, we'll make that watched video. And for 2, we'll make that did not watch. Okay, and I'm going to come over and set my measure to nominal and come down and make my other variables. So this is quiz performance, numeric, 0 decimals, label, and then I'll make my 3 different variables in there. Oh, so this needs to be called quiz performance. And we can add spaces here, but we cannot have them in the variable name. So 1 will be unsatisfactory, 2 will be satisfactory, and 3 will be exceptional. All right, so once we've got that done, again, change this to a nominal value. Now we can come over to our data view. So now we just need to put in those who watched the video and how they did on the performance. So over here I just generated some numbers. And so what I did with Excel is I just needed to essentially create a long column of those. So those who, I just kind of put these here to keep an eye on it. So those who watched the video but had unsatisfactory performance. So watched was all ones. So I just used Excel and I added a 1 here. Let me show you what that would look like. I would literally put the 1 in. And then when you hover over this corner of Excel, you see that it's got this little kind of edge thing. And you can click and just drag that down. So I just am going to use Excel and be able to see exactly how many I need. So okay, I need 8 of those. So there's 8, and you can click and drag over it, and down in the bottom of Excel you'll see how many you've selected. So you see that there's 8 of those. So, and then they needed to be unsatisfactory. So there was 8 of those. So 1 and then 8 unsatisfactories. So I'm just going to hover there and get my 8 unsatisfactories. Then I needed 10 satisfactories, or watch the video with unsatisfactory or with satisfactory performance. So I would just copy this and paste this, but I know that's 8, so 9, 10. And just looking at that, I've got a count of 10, and they need satisfactory performance. Well, we gave that the variable of 2. If we look over in our SPSS, remember satisfactory performance got the variable 2. So that's basically it. I put a 2 in there. And then now that I knew I needed 10, I just dragged this down. Okay, so then I did the same thing. So I needed how many for watched the video and had exceptional performance? I needed 22. So there's 1, and I'm going to drag this down until it's 22 long. Of course, if I had Excel open, I could probably just look over at the row numbers and see. But now I see that it's 25. So delete that one, delete that one. And let's see if that's enough. Yep, so there's 22. And they need the variable 3 for exceptional performance. So I basically did that, same thing here. Then for the did not watch video, they needed the first variable for not watched. They needed 15 of those, etc. So I just went through, and then those guys were unsatisfactory performance. So that was 1. Copy it down, etc. So did not watch, these were 2 as well. I needed 16. And so once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and delete these because I've already done them over here. This is ready to be copied and pasted into SPSS. Now I could have done that over here in SPSS. I could have just come over to my data view, had my watch video and quiz performance, and typed it in directly there. There's no reason you couldn't do that. That's just I'm not into that. That would take way too long. So now I'm going to select these, copy with Command C, or under the Edit menu, copy. Come over to this data set. I'm selecting the first one, edit, paste, and it pastes them all in. And I can scroll down just to double check. I should have 80 values. It looks like I do. I can see them go from the 1s and 2s in the watch video to the 1, 2s, and 3s in quiz performance. Now I need to analyze descriptive statistics, crosstabs. I'm going to load the watched videos into the rows, quiz performance in the columns. And then I'm going to go through these over here. He's told us to do the asymptotic only. And then we need to, in our statistics, see the chi-square, the correlation, and I believe the phi and Kramer's. And then our cells, we need to have both observed and expected cells. And okay, format was ascending, which should be fine. Style looked fine, but it does tell it he did want us to display the clustered bar charts. So I'm going to hit OK, and that's going to generate my data. So now if you've already copied and pasted all this or have this in a spreadsheet, or not a spreadsheet, but a Word doc. So once I had that in here, I just need to copy and paste the information that comes from the crosstabs. So I'm going to go back to SPSS. And in this case, you can actually just come down and click on any one of these. I'm going to select it and copy it, Command C or Control C if you're on Windows. I'm going to switch over to Microsoft Word and paste it in. Boom, drops right in. So I'm going to select this one, copy, and paste. And you can literally just go through it and copy and paste them in that way. Copy, click, paste. And so what I get from this is looking at the Pearson chi-square coefficients. We've got 8.967 and a p-value of 0.011. So you can see here in my paper that I went ahead and used that formula that he had given us, x squared times 2 equals, in this case, 8.967. That's the Pearson coefficient. And that then had a p-value of 0.011, with the p being less than 0.05, like we talked about in the book and in class. That meant that the null hypothesis was rejected. So if it had been greater than 0.05, we would say that they were the same. So we concluded that students who watched the content video before class performed better on a Pro Tools quiz than those who did not watch the content video. And the number of students whose quiz scores were exceptional was significantly higher for those that watched the content video. And we can see that here with our bar chart. If they watch the video, they have a much higher number of exceptional scores. So hopefully that is helpful for you guys in terms of making your way through this. We'll see you in class.